one of our most treasured friends and collaborators, who also happens to be deaf, is the ridiculously, incredibly talented singer and songwriter, Mandy Harvey. Mandy's origin story is a not impossible story in itself, and you can go on our website and see that in its entirety. But I want you for a minute to imagine that music is your life, and then in a cruel twist, your sense of hearing fades and eventually goes away completely. You have to leave the university music program that you've worked your whole life to make it into, and your dream of a career in music seems to disappear. The story of Mandy's journey from that moment defines the not impossible spirit. Hey Mandy, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's lovely to see you. And it's so amazing now there's the feature on Zoom that you can actually see the closed captions. So I actually know what's going on in this conversation.
So listen, everyone obviously who knows you and meets you or hears about your story is just baffled and dumbfounded. And they do what I do, which is, and I've known you for a while, which is, wait a second, how does this work? How does this happen? So can you explain the act of what you went through to actually, once you lost your hearing, how you got to be able to continue to sing with your beautiful voice?
Initially, the biggest barrier of all of it was being willing to try and to push myself, because the whole world told me that it would be impossible for me to be able to do music again. And I believed it. And so I just kind of left it at that. But my dad asked me to play guitar with him. And so I picked up a guitar and we were just strumming chords together. And I noticed for the first time that I could feel the vibrations of the instrument through my fingertips. And as I'm holding this instrument, it's rumbling on my skin. And I'm like, wait a minute. Everyone feels music first. That's the way sound works. So how can I feel my way into understanding how to perform again? And it started this whole journey through feeling my voice instead of relying on listening to it.
Incredible.
I actually grabbed a visual tuner. I want to show you one. But basically what I use this for is I would pick a note, ooh, and then watch it align and make sure that my note is actually in the green. Ooh, that should be a C. I can't see it from this angle, but I'm sure you can see it. And then from there, I would actually place my hand on my throat to try to isolate where that vibration is the strongest. So if you bear with me for just a second, gently place your hand on your throat. And we're just gonna make a note. Ooh.
Ooh.
Now feel where the vibration is the strongest and try to pinpoint it with your pointer finger. Ooh. For me, it's here. It's actually lower. Now, as you're holding on, you're gonna jump to a different note. Something really high. Oh, so gorgeous. You look good. But do you feel that the vibration shifted?
Yeah.
It completely moved. So I would sit in front of the mirror and I'd grab a marker. Initially Sharpies, because I didn't think this through. Who knows? Ooh. And for me, the vibration is the strongest here. So I'd make a line and then I'd put a C right on my skin. And then I went and did my scales. So while watching myself do ooh, and then go along and find different notes and then feel where they are the strongest. And then I would look at myself in a mirror with these markings like a crazy person. And I would say to myself, okay, I found them once. Now let's find them again. And so doing this again and again and again, I actually built up trust, because your voice is a muscle. And if you can train your muscle to do something, it will continue to do it.
So if you, because you can see in the captioning, you can, when I say something, you can see it. So if you
Gosh,
could,
you're gonna put me me through the ringer, and I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
how
yeah.
much.
Put your phone up to the camera, either to the computer or the GoPro, whatever you want, and then you sing it, and then just show
Okay.
the camera.
Ooh. All right. Ooh, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Am I still at C? I hope so. I'm a little flat. It's okay.
Okay, that was ridiculous. That was so amazing.
And then
Oh
with
my
my
God.
songs, I actually put little secret notes to myself to remind myself that I'm right. And if it's okay, I'd like to play part of a song for you and to show you where I hid them.
Oh yeah, please. By the way, I'm still just like shaking my head watching this. This is amazing.
It's a fun time. I'm gonna go with a song that I wrote called Try. And I put it in this key because the core goes back into that C, and I love finding C. Okay. So the first notes that we're gonna play is actually the chord of G, which is a B. So I'm just going up one little nugget from C. C is my safe space. So I want to be as close to C as possible. So that's why I chose this first note.
Okay.
I don't feel the way I used to. The sky is gray, much more than it is blue. But I know one day I'll get through. And I'll take my place again if I would try. So the try is the most important part. It's the most important part. So this is why, because that note, it's annoying and it bothers right underneath my eye. And so every time it happens, it buzzes. So as you go along, if you sit in front of a mirror with your own visual tuner and your own set of markers, you're going to do scales, and some notes really rumble in your chest, but then some of the high ones, you can feel them behind your nose. And this one gets me right behind this eye, and it bothers me. So I was like, if I'm going to sing a song that is about as true to me and about the most painful part of my life, I'm going to have something that I can physically feel some element of pain. So that's why that's there. Try. It's annoying every time. Try. If I would try. Oh. Yeah.
That's just that is so amazing, Mandy. And I love that you actually have the presence, or you just are so self-aware of where, oh, it doesn't vibrate in this eye, it vibrates in this eye, and it
Right
vibrates.
here every time. Now, I will say this, the only time that it does move like from here and it'll like sync is if I'm like congested or sick. So I do this exercise every day. So it's like it's something that I do like when I'm getting ready to sing, like I have to center myself. I find middle C and then I do my scales, and I do this religiously. And I have certain things that I do that are exactly the same every time. And that might be annoying for some people, but for me, it's that consistency
Sure.
that allows me the freedom to trust myself. So, start small and branch from there.
All right, was there one note that was harder when you were learning than the others?
Um, yeah, I mean, anytime you're like far away, like those like in between guys, because I practice C so much that I have to like really be conscious about the scale. But what I like to do instead of like popcorning it, because that makes me more nervous. And when I get nervous, I doubt myself. And so what I rather like to do is do songs that string together so that the ending note is either like a very short distance away from the starting note of the next song. And then I actually like very quickly sing through the song in my mind and then go to that note. So that's more, it's more tricky if you're doing that popcorn business, because then you get like, I don't want to be wrong on camera, like you get scared.
I hope you know how much we at None Impossible love you, and how we were inspired by you. And then when the world found out about you and was inspired by you, we were like, that's right, see? She's amazing. So just thank you for being you, and thank you for playing with us today. And I know that people are going to be just so amazed by learning more and seeing what you actually do to become the beautiful singer
In the
you
bottom
are.
of my heart, thank you for doing what you guys are doing. It's incredible. And for everybody who's at home watching this, I really would love for people to understand that just because something seems impossible, it's maybe probable that it's just impossible today. Like, and we can fix it and then make something better. Because I think anything can feel impossible if it's never been done before. And then once we do it more and more, then it just becomes normal. I mean, how many amazing blind pianists do we have in the world? But then you had somebody big like Stevie Wonder or Ray Charles, and now it's just like, yeah, blind people play the piano all the time. We need more people to be adventurous and to put through themselves through the paces so that it's not scary anymore.
You're amazing.
You
Thank
guys
you,
are
Mandy.
amazing.
We love you. Thank you so much.
Of course.